Wow, 8,000 watch hours. Are you seriously kidding me? Oh, okay. You know what? Let me sit here, drink my glass of wine, and literally be unbothered because honestly, I'm one of those people where it's not even gonna phase me. Mm-mm. It's not. And let me tell you why. I actually have three takes on this, okay? And I personally want to give you my honest opinion, not just as somebody who actually creates, but as someone who understands that sometimes things that are discouraging or they seem discouraging can actually push you to become better. Now, my first take, hey, don't come for me with this. But I do believe that YouTube is a business and this is their platform. And you have to remember that social media and content creation have grown tremendously throughout the years. There are literally so many people creating content right now, guys. Everybody has a camera. You look at the gym, you go to church, go all over. Everybody can literally start a YouTube channel, right? And content creation has become so much bigger than we're even seeing. Social media, digital content, and related skills are literally now becoming a part of educational programs. I just found that out. So when you look at it from that standpoint, YouTube's perspective, it actually makes sense that they are going to have certain criteria and standards to make it harder to get into the partner program. YouTube basically said that its partner program now has, I think, more than 3 million creators. So the creator economy is super, it's massive, and social media continues to boom. I can understand why YouTube will literally establish some form of criteria or requirement rather than allowing everybody to come into the program. It is literally going to be saturated if that happens. And with money, who's going to want to pay with a ton of money to people who are just coming in? I don't think so. If it's a business, honestly, I can kind of look at it from that perspective. And for example, I'm looking at it as a weed out program when you're in college. If you went to college or even wherever you are, there are certain things that are weed out courses, right? You probably have taken a weed out course. And as I'm sitting here, I remember doing that, you know. I forgot if it was physics, one of my physics class, and when I was in my therapy program. And the whole purpose was to try to determine who was really going to continue in the program. Not everybody is going to make it through. And that's just the reality. No matter how harsh you think it is the truth. That is that's just facts. Not everybody gonna make it through. I'm not saying that I necessarily love change. I do not. But I can understand why YouTube might be doing it because at the end of the day, this is a business, guys. This is a business. Now, my second perspective is really the most important one. And this is really me saying, don't get discouraged. And even if you are, just don't give up. That's the best I can tell you. Do not give up. And I am going to be transparent with you guys, okay? I'm not sure about the YouTube partner program and if you've watched my video before, my experience with it. But if you have, then you'll realize that I literally had to restart restart this whole channel from scratch because I was so close to getting in. Then that year came, I lost all my watch hours and I had to start over. I could have easily literally took that situation and said, forget about it. I'm done, but I didn't. I used that as literally a motivating factor and I kept going because again, honestly, it's not my platform and I know that is life. These things do happen. Think about it. If you want to become a doctor or whatever, and you might find yourself in a difficult class or you might want to become a lawyer or a singer, whatever your aspiration is, there might be something, whether it's a class that's going to try to weed you out. Sometimes you may have to take a step back before you can move forward, but you still take that step anyhow. You might have to repeat a class until you pass it, but you keep going until eventually you're literally standing with that degree waving saying, hey, I did it. You didn't quit because one difficult course got in your way, right? You didn't quit because somebody said, oh, you don't fit the part, you don't look the part. And that's the same mindset I believe that you have to have when you're trying to be a creator. Maybe you don't reach the 4,000 watch hours as quickly as you thought you would. Maybe you have to, work hard and maybe you don't get it, and maybe the 8,000 you might not get it. But at the end of the day, you have to keep on going. Maybe your channel grew slower than the average person. Maybe you have to start over. Honestly, so what? To quit? Are you gonna figure out what strategies you need to do differently? What approach are you gonna take? Some of you guys gonna already get beat out because you already quit just your 8,000. Are you gonna be that kind of person? Because if you really want it, you have to be willing to go through some uncomfortable parts. You have to be willing to repeat that class. In other words, you have to be willing to start over. You have to be willing to learn to to accept something that might seem like a failure, but it's not a failure, because sometimes the disappointments are the motivating factor that will get you going. But it's all here. Because what's gonna happen is when you finally reach the 8,000, hypothetically, you get into the program, you get the 8,000, maybe there's going to be another goal that come along. Maybe one day they might change it again. Maybe the algorithm changes. Maybe the views drop. Maybe the video you thought was going to do great and amazing only gets 200 views. Ask yourself, are you going to quit every single time something doesn't go your way, or every time the criteria gets harder? Because if that's the case, honestly, if you're watching the video, you're gonna probably constantly be starting over. And this is not just with YouTube, this is in life. You have to have a different mindset. You have to be able to say, okay, all right, fine. This is a new requirement. This is what I have to do. Let me figure out how I'm gonna get it. Let me figure out, some strategies. Maybe I have to post more videos, long form, maybe more shorts, whatever it is, whether it's 4,000, 8,000, or even 10,000, you're gonna keep on going. That's the mindset. I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna keep on going. Because the goal isn't just to get monetized, at least not for me. The goal is actually to build something. The goal for me is to create a community. The goal for me is to improve my content. The goal for me is to become a better person in what I do. And eventually, hopefully, I'll become monetized in doing something that I actually like, in doing something that I love, in doing something that I care about, putting out content that people can appreciate. Here's my third take. It's all competition. And this one really came to my mind. I'm like, at the end of the day, these platforms are a business. They are competing with our attention, our control, and our time. We spend way too much time on social media. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They are all competing for creators and viewers. Guys, the power is actually in our hand too. And YouTube, right now, their position is in a good place because of the monetization. Because here's the thing, these platforms are constantly changing with their monetization program. So basically, what works for today, I promise you, might not work for tomorrow. It might not work next year. The amount of let me see, how do I put this, the amount of time that you can spend on the platform, the algorithm can change, the features can change, the platform themselves can change. And that is why sometimes they pay and then they stop, and then they pay and then they stop, and then they come with this criteria. Let's think about this for a second. What happens if one day another platform starts offering creators significantly better amount of opportunities, right? Let's say Instagram, Facebook, or for example, TikTok. Let's say they change their strategy and all of a sudden they become more attractive to the creators, right? What do you think is going to happen, right? I personally think a lot of creators now will start shifting. So they'll shift their time and their energy. So perhaps they'll be like, okay, YouTube is too hard. I'm going to move on to Facebook. I'm going to move on to Instagram because they're paying. What do you think is going to happen? Again, they're a business. They are going to have to respond. YouTube, yes, they'll have to respond to that competition. No, maybe they'll change their strategy. Maybe that 8,000 might drop to 4,000, might drop to 2,000, but they're going to try to keep that incentive going. They may make it easier. They may find another strategy, but I promise you their incentive will be a lot easier because now people are shifting from their platform, going to Instagram, going to Facebook, going to TikTok. So why am I stressing? Why am I stressing over one number? Because these platforms are constantly changing and they are constantly going to change. But what is true today might not work for 2 years from now. It didn't, last year. Every year is a change. I guess you got to keep that in mind. The rules can change at any time. The algorithm can change. The monetization can change. And the platforms themselves change. So we can't get too worked up. We can't get too discouraged. Why why are you gonna let this really make you yeah, please don't let it give up. Here's something also that I believe, it might sound weird, Sometimes you only need one hit. I've always said this to my sisters and my family. One hit. There's something about one hit. For example, your favorite singers. Think of some of your favorite artists that literally had come to mind, and maybe you want to call them a one hit wonder, but literally it was that one song that got people to pay attention. And honestly, it's the same thing with content creation. It can be like that too, guys. So here's where the mindset come. You could literally make 50 videos, right? And that platform wasn't doing jack squat. You could have 100, the platform not doing anything, right? All of a sudden, and I'm getting into my little Jamaican accent now. I hope you can understand. But all of a sudden, you did one video, and that one video could bring you new people to your channel. It could introduce new people and new content. And now you're in a new momentum by that one video. So remember, you posted a lot. Never got anything but a couple views, and all of that. All of a sudden, it took one video, but you'll never know which video that's gonna happen, and you won't know. And if you quit before you even started, that is why I keep saying, don't give up before you even give yourself the opportunity. Before you give yourself the chance to do it. Yes, you saw the 8,000. Some of you guys already got discouraged. You don't know what's on the other side of your consistency. You don't know which of your video is going to take off. You don't know who is going to discover you. You don't know what opportunity could literally be there if you just show up. Kind of like at the gym, you show up and you show out, but you gotta try to keep on doing it. It depends on if who wants it bad enough. So yes, 8,000 watch hours sounds like a lot, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it doesn't, because it does. But at the same time, I'm also not gonna sit here and allow the numbers to discourage me. I'm gonna sip my wine, watch my K dramas. I'm gonna chill as if the 8,000 didn't even sway me. Honestly, guys, I'm not in the partner program. Am I trying? Yes. Am I still here? Yes. Am I still creating? Am I still learning? Am I still figuring out what works? Am I still going through it just like a whole lot of you guys that are trying? Absolutely. But this right here, 8,000, 10,000, 20,000. Okay, YouTube, bring it. In my mind, I'm still going to keep on trying. Don't let this new requirement weed you out. Please don't take this as a physics class or a chemistry class. Don't let it weed you out. Don't let it do that. If things were gonna weed me out, I wouldn't be the therapist that I am today. All right. So yes, they are going to say 8,000. Oh well, 8,000. I guess I gotta post more videos, right? I guess you have to post more videos if you're not in the platform. If you have 17 watch hours now or 50 watch hours, oh well, I guess you have more work to do. Okay, challenge accepted. Challenge accepted, right? So whether 4,000, 8,000, 10,000, or whatever the number, bring it. All right? Sometimes you have to look in the mirror and say, bring it. I'm going for it anyway. Because at the end of the day, you have to say to yourself, how badly do you want this? And I'm asking you the question, actually, if you're watching it. How badly do you want it? That applies to YouTube. That could apply to your life. How badly do you want the career? How badly do you want to get into the YouTube program? Perhaps it's another platform. It could be Instagram. The crazy part is this is so much bigger. It's not just like 8,000 with the watch hour. It sometimes can tap into your personality and how you treat things when you don't get it or when things become hard. If you failed a class, are you going to take it again? If you want to start a business and you fail, the business fail, are you going to keep on learning? Are you going to quit the business? You know, if you want to be a content creator, keep on creating, guys. Keep on creating. You got knocked down, so okay, get back up again. And I know it sounds cliche, but get back up again. Because sometimes the difference between the person who actually makes it and the person who doesn't, it isn't about talent. It isn't about oh, you're just lucky. Sometimes it's simply because that person who made it was the person who didn't refuse. They basically refused that. They refused to quit. So again, I implore you, don't let that algorithm scare you. Don't let a failed video scare you. Don't let the fact that you might have 17 watch hours this way, persuade you from not doing it. Your watch hours might be short. Remember, you only need one hit. And definitely don't let the platform and the rules convince you to do something else, because again, consider it a weed out program. Go for it, because you never know I'm saying this, you never know when your next video could be a hit. Oh, for all I'm talking, this could get 3 people to watch it. It could get 3,000. It could get more. Hypothetically, I'm just saying, keep on going. Keep creating, keep learning, keep showing up, and most importantly, I'm telling you, most importantly, do not quit. Do not quit before you give yourself a chance. We do that sometimes so often in life, all right? As usual, enough love, respect. Thanks for watching. I know it was long, probably tedious, but I just saw all these videos popping up, 8,000 people freaking out. And I'm not going to lie and say, oh my gosh, it's not discouraging. Yes, it can be. But for crying out loud, please don't give up before you even get the opportunity to do it. Just go ahead and keep on posting. Set that challenge. Say YouTube challenge accepted. If you want to be like a nerd or whatever you got to do, nerd out. I mean, let me stop. Let me drink. Is the wine getting to me right now? Cheers. Until next time. Over and out.